What's going on, guys? My name is Joe, and today is Sunday special time. We do something different every Sunday here on the channel. We are in front of Clash of Clans again, but Fabi does come back tonight, so I will be going and picking her up. Well, actually, by the time you watch this, she'll already be home, so that's a good thing, right? We are on the Town Hall 10 today. We're over in Paradox Enigma. We're going to take a look at some of their replays. I'm going to go ahead and start playing some replays, and we're going to talk about a topic that continues to get asked multiple times. I get emails all the time or comments all the time by inspiring young channels that want to become a YouTube channel. And most of my audience is Clash of Clans related, so more than likely you're only coming to me because you want to know how to build a Clash of Clans YouTube channel. And so I got a couple of tips today, or things that I'm going to discuss, and I might go rambling. I'm going to make sure that I do my best not to do so, but I'm going to try to address some things, and I'm going to kind of give some advice, if you will. And I'm not saying that, you know, don't do it. If you want to make a YouTube channel about Clash of Clans and you want to cover the game, by all means, do it. It's always beneficial to the community for some more input. You never know who's going to emerge from the crowd. That's the way I always see it. And I have a lot of experience in this. And my previous background, if you don't know who I am or where I come from, I am prior service military. I was in the service for 14 years, in the Army actually. I led soldiers for 10 of those years. I am very well versed in educational teaching as well as motivational speaking, if you will. So, I mean, you get a little bit of everything when you deal with soldiers. And I have around 3 years experience on YouTube, 2 years prior to the restart back in February 2019. And so far, since being back on YouTube, we have produced, hold on, let me look at my notes, 136 videos since then. So in the last 6 months, we've produced 136 videos. There was actually more, but I removed all the streams because the streams were actually hurting my channel more than they were helping. And so my first topic that I want to kind of address a little bit is, why do you want to create a YouTube channel? And it's kind of a open question. It's one of those things that's supposed to bring a little bit of thought to you. What is it that you want to do? Are you trying to help the Clash of Clans community, or are you trying to create a YouTube channel? And what I mean by that is, Supercell doesn't need our help, guys. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar company. They've got it all figured out. They've got investors. They've got a lot of money. They probably have a board of directors or whatever. You know, they got the money flowing in. You know, and you know, us as content creators, all we do is give them free advertising, so to speak, and then, you know, some of the guys get in there and they get a chance to do some commentary for their live streams, and they get to experience those types of things. And it looks like it's all glamorified, it's easy, and all you got to do is start posting videos, and that's what I want to do. And you need to make a decision. Like, are you just posting videos because you want to help your clanmates out and do some instructional stuff to help other people out? Or are you trying to create a YouTube channel that's going to be around for the long haul? Meaning, when Clash of Clans finally loses all of its popularity, which may or may not ever happen, you just don't know. But it is a 7-year-old game. It's not going to be around forever. I mean, it's going to be there, but it's not going to be like the game that everybody's searching. Even my channel sees the effects of this, guys. I think a lot of people get it confused by seeing a subscriber count, and that they feel that defines us as YouTubers, or, you know, people that are on YouTube, and that's not necessarily the case. I'm just another guy. I'm just like you. I'm no different. I'm just trying to live a dream, so to speak. You know, like I said, I was in the military, so I served overseas 3 times. I've seen a lot of bad things, and I want to live my life to the fullest, and I choose not to do a 9-to-5 job. But I am in college. I'm about to start classes back up here very, very soon. So my first advice is determine what the channel is, what's it going to be for, and how do you intend on creating something different for the community. That's the next topic, is like, what is it that what's going to set you apart from everybody else? Like, what are you going to do that's different? And what I mean by that is, you watch my videos and you see that I do overlays. Are you going to start doing overlays as well? I mean, I'm already doing that, so that's not a good idea. You see what I'm saying? Or let's say I go watch, who's another YouTuber? Let's see, I'm trying to think, maybe Clash Bashing. Like, you know how Clash Bashing, if you've ever watched Clash Bashing, he's got a really cool rotator thing that he puts in his streams, and the audience picks what army to use next. If I go take that or get that replicated and put it on my channel, how am I being any different than Clash Bashing? Really, I'm just ripping off my friend is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So I'm not setting myself apart differently than what everybody else is doing. So that's the question for you is, if everybody else is doing clan war stuff, why do clan war stuff? Everybody else is doing clan, you know? So, you have to pick a topic, and you have to like diversify the material that you're putting out in order to even be seen. The next topic that I want to talk about is numbers. So let's say that you have a channel right now and you're trying to figure out why you're not getting subscribers or you're not getting views, or you know the content's just not doing what you set your expectations to be. And even myself, I am very notorious for this. I'm going to show you a diagram here in a second that Fabi made for me, because you know I was on YouTube before, and so I had really high expectations for, you know, making a comeback and the views of what I got previous to what I'm getting now. And something that Fabi pointed out, and I'm going to show you this diagram. Let's see if I can actually get it into the camera. And this is just her scribbling on the thing, and she posted it on the refrigerator, and I look at it every day. And it says, bad numbers, no motivation, bad production. And so here, I'm going to show you, it's probably backwards, but that's what she made. This is what hangs on my refrigerator. And what that means exactly is bad numbers, meaning that the video didn't get the views that I expected it to get. Then that leads me into a bad place in the motivation department. And then that turns into the follow-on videos just being very, very poorly produced. And so that just becomes a cycle until the point where you no longer want to make videos anymore. And that's it's just a bad trend to get into. And if you watch the numbers regularly and you have like super high expectations for the content that you're creating, and it's not producing the way that you feel it should produce, well, then you're just going to go down into a rabbit hole of wanting to quit and not make videos anymore. And that's not necessarily the best answer. And so my advice for that is just try your best not to watch the numbers. Don't sit there and wait for you to cross that 1,000 subscriber mark or that 10,000 subscriber mark, or so on and so on and so on. If you want to get seen, you got to get some type of advertising. And we're talking basic business 101 here. And I just finished up recently, last semester I took global business, and you got to identify a target market, and you got to ensure that you research that target market and make sure that it's even worth making a product in, you know, for that specific target market. And if you're not doing those things, then you're obviously not doing the basics of business. And at the end of the day, a YouTube channel is a business. A Twitch channel is a business. You're producing a product for a target audience in the intent, or with the intent, to make a profit. And that's a lot of failure by a lot of channels out there. So that kind of leads us back to the first topic of identifying why you want to create a channel, and then 2, don't watch the numbers. And then our next topic that we're going to discuss is don't spend a bunch of money and buying a bunch of equipment that you think that you need in order to make a YouTube channel. And if you're doing this for the money, then you're probably going about it the wrong way. Because if you're making a YouTube channel with the intent to think that you're going to become, you know, Casey Neistat or, I don't know, Dr. Disrespect overnight, it's just not going to happen. You're not going to make that kind of money with sponsorship deals immediately. It's just not going to happen. Heck, I don't even have them. So you have to do this for the passion of enjoying making content, the enjoyment for the game that you're playing, the enjoyment for editing if that's your thing, or the enjoyment of being a member of the community, that if that's your thing as well. So my advice is don't go spending a bunch of money until you're absolutely positive and you're 100% sure that this is what you want to do with your life, because this equipment is not cheap. And I say this based on personal experience of this is about 2.5, 3 years worth of equipment collection. So we're talking maybe, I think my studio, if I were to put a dollar sign on the studio right now, I'd probably say it's about $5,000 to $6,000 sitting right here in front of me. And that's just based on collection over time. I didn't buy it all in one shot. And I have a long list on Amazon of things that I really want or I really need or whatever. You know, I don't necessarily need it. I'm still able to produce without it, but there's a lot of wants and needs when it comes to being a, you know, creator. But if you're rushing out and spending a bunch of money and then you come to find out like you're, I don't know, if I was a service member again, I definitely would not be doing this again, because you never know when you're going to deploy. My job, when I got out of the military, around the time that I was getting out, my job was perfect for the gig. And so I was able to go home every night and do YouTube and then go back to work the next day without the thought of even deploying. But if you're, you know, let's say you're, I don't know, a service member and you don't know when you're going to deploy next, it's probably not a good idea to go spend, you know, $5,000-$6,000 on a bunch of equipment that you're not going to use for a year or whatever, and you just don't know whether you're going to make it a thing or not. So, I mean, you have all the equipment right in front of you. If you have a cell phone in your hand, you can record videos and you can edit videos and stuff. There's all kinds of products now to where you can go do that on a digital device, or even a laptop for that matter. You don't necessarily need to be, you know, the biggest gaming PC in the world in order to edit and post videos. And that's going to lead us into our final topic for becoming a YouTube channel, is branding. So you have to, when you want to brand yourself, you don't, and one of my biggest mistakes here on YouTube was naming myself Clash Attacks with Joe. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people know the channel now by that name, but that ties into this game. So I'm really, as long as I remain named Clash Attacks with Joe, I really can't do any other YouTube content. I can't cover any other games and post it, and they go find, you know, like if I even remotely get discovered and they say Clash Attacks, that doesn't make any sense. This is like Fortnite or something. What the heck is, you know, who the heck is this guy? You know, it doesn't make any sense. So I didn't brand myself properly from the very beginning, and that's something that I'm going to have to correct in the future. Actually, very, very soon, we're going to have to find a way to rename, rebrand, spend some more money, unfortunately, in order to correct my early on disaster. And that's one thing that a lot of channels, even now I see a lot of channels now naming themselves Clash with, and that's great. You know, that's great to get yourself started if you're going to cover Clash of Clans or Clash Royale for a really long time. But at the end of the day, how long is this game going to really last? You know, it's not going to be, I don't know. You know, you never know. You just don't know when it comes to a video game. I've seen games come out that were extremely popular one day, and now, heck, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. I mean, a year ago it came out. It was the hot new stuff, and now nobody cares to even really, I mean, I'm sure people still play it, but it's not as popular as it once was, and now people have moved on to Apex and PUBG and whatever else there is. So, I mean, you got to think about it. If you brand yourself for one game, then you got to think about the future on how you're going to brand yourself in the future. And then another thing that ties into that is basic business, like just basic business as a company. Are you going to name yourself the same thing as everybody else? And let's say I can think up the coolest name in the world, you know, I don't know, I got nothing on the top of my head right now, but let's say you say that this is the name of the channel that I want to create, right? Go on YouTube, go on social media, look it up, go like scan through and type in the bar, whatever it is that you're thinking. And if you have like more than one pop up, like that's a large channel, don't create your channel that, you know, don't make your channel that name, because now you have to get seen and like you're telling people about your channel, check me out, I'm right here, and they're like, well, I just typed you in and I just saw like 5 other channels by that name, I don't know which one to pick, and nobody's gonna look. They're gonna be like, huh, I'm done, like, and they close it out. You know, they're not gonna search for you. So you have to set yourself apart, and you have to do something that has not been done yet. And I know that's really that's really a double-edged sword, because, you know, there's multiple companies named the same things, but it just depends on what the company is. You're not going to see 2 fast food chain restaurants in the United States called McDonald's. Nobody's going to do it. I mean, it's a horrible idea. Well, you know, one is probably patents and stuff going on there anyways, but you're not going to go down the street and see 2 McDonald's with 2 different signs. I mean, they've already tried it back when the company first started out, when Ray Kroc robbed the McDonald brothers. But still, the point being is that, you know, you can't name yourself the same thing as somebody else and expect to actually grow. It just doesn't work that way. You're automatically seen as you're copying and you're stealing somebody else's idea. So, but anyways, I think that's pretty much going to wrap us up for my advice today. If you got any other information or input on this, we're not going to limit it to just what I said. There's so many other things that cover the realm of YouTube and Twitch. Drop your advice down in the comments below for others to read, guys. I mean, I'm sure there's many of you out there that are trying to do this thing and you just don't know where to start. All it starts is, or where it starts is just posting a video, and then posting another one, and posting another one, and then you just improve from there and on and on and on. If you enjoyed the content today, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and thanks for watching, guys.